Go. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Funky Marketing Podcast. Today, the guest and the host is the same person. That's me, yours truly. My name is Nemanja Zivkovic. I'm the founder of the Funky Marketing consulting firm that works with mid-size B2B companies and help them facilitate their buyer's journey and accelerate growth. And today is the day where we're going to cover one of my favorite topics, which is LinkedIn for B2B companies. Why that topic? I mean, I asked you yesterday on LinkedIn in a poll, and I suggested a couple of topics. A lot of you responded, which is kind of great because now I know that I can cover other topics as well. But the thing is, I want to tackle a couple of topics alone without the guests to actually go deeper into some of the things and share with you some things that I learned, something that I know, some things that I'm doing with companies, so you can implement it and actually go through all the things. So here you will see, if you are watching this, watching the video, you will see the QR code that you can use to schedule a call with me. I usually do a free 30 minutes consultation call to see if I can help you with all the stuff that I do. So if you think that you are a potential match, a potential client, and you need help with LinkedIn, you can always scan that call and schedule a call to with me, right? So let's get back to our topic. But before I do that, please ask any questions that you have. I talk a lot. I'm gonna talk a lot, but I want to also answer your questions if you have them. So please ask away. Anytime that you hear me saying something that resonates with you, that you have a question, feel free to comment, to ask. I can clarify, I can answer, I can find some examples to show to you. So don't be afraid to do that. I think I will be able to track the comments as they come because I don't have a presentation, but so let's go. Today's episode, we're going to dive deeper into the topic, as I mentioned, that's close to my heart, LinkedIn, and how to make it a powerhouse for B2B marketing. So if you're looking to stand out, to build connections, or to convert leads on LinkedIn, this episode is for you. LinkedIn has played a huge role in growing Funky Marketing and my own personal brand even before starting Funky Marketing. And over the past few years, since I founded the company 2020, I've seen how consistent engagement, personal branding mixed with strategic content have driven results, not just for me, but for some of the B2B brands, some of the bigger ones here in the region and in general that I work with. So today I'm going to try to share to you exactly what works and how you can do it for yourself and for your company as well. So let's go and start with answering why LinkedIn and why LinkedIn is the platform for B2B marketing. Actually, it's the platform for B2B and especially the platform for B2B sales. It's the number one place for all these things, and LinkedIn Inbox specifically is the place when most of B2B sales are happening as we speak. Unlike any other platform, LinkedIn gives you direct access to decision makers in your industry. Basically, you can message everybody directly with just a few clicks, and you can try. So no matter if you are going after CEOs, after VPs, or CMOs, or CFOs, you're only basically a connection request away. And more importantly, they are all active on LinkedIn, engaging with content, looking for insights. and those that are not active, where they are actively reading and actively consuming the content, which is not less important than those who are engaging. In fact, we'll talk about it later, but the fact is that most of your sales, most of the people who will buy from you, no matter if you're selling a service or a product, will come from those who never engage with your content, who are just lurking around, checking out your profile, checking out your content, engaging, meaning clicked on link, visited the website, listened to the podcast, those kind of things. So example I like to always use as a start is SEMRush. I don't know if you follow SEMRush, one of the tools that we have for the SEO. They built a massive presence on LinkedIn by sharing industry insights, by sharing case studies and updates on their products. But more than that, they use LinkedIn to start conversations with their target audience and to keep them on top of mind, right? I especially like what let me tell you, Olga Andrienko is doing. She's their VP of brand marketing. And she, as somebody who is in charge of brand marketing, doing some amazing, amazing stuff with her posts. She's using LinkedIn to get the right people for the newly open roles, for the roles which are sometimes hard to fulfill. For example, like manager role or C-level roles or those kind of things, or somebody who can mix up things. Like an example was somebody who can manage the whole product, meaning organize the full conference and be in charge of the sales, marketing, and everything that's happening around their own conference that they are organizing. They realize that they in-house cannot do it and they need to hire somebody to go and do it, right? So from that side, that's something to think about. On the other side, what's happening is also interesting because other people from the company are also being active, and all together they create a brand of the company. And it all started from the company perspective. I remember Julia from Enrich, as somebody who worked in SEMRush before, mentioned me how she likes the way they create content on a company page. And now here we are, a year or year and a half later, I'm talking about the people from the company and what do they do all together as a company on LinkedIn. So, okay, let's move on. One of the common questions that I get is how often should I post on LinkedIn? Is it better to post every day or to post multiple times a day? Or should I even post every day? The answer depends on your strategy and where you are at the moment, right? How much do you know about your audience? So posting once a day keeps you visible without overwhelming your audience. Some people think that this is too much. I'm going to give you my answer at the end of this segment. But if you have a lot of value to offer, posting a few times a day can help you dominate the feed. What matters most is not just the quantity, but the quality and relevance of what you are posting. Meaning, we all need to figure out the content platform fit. What does it mean? It means which content resonates the best with our audience on the channel that we choose. In this case, that's LinkedIn. You need at least 12 months to 2 years to figure those stuff out. If you post once a week or twice a week, it's going to take you a lot of time to figure out those things. So what I always suggest from the start with mixing up content. Start with posting different kinds of content, and make sure that you are talking about different things in a different way, using different visuals, using video versus photos versus text post versus polls versus carousel. So a lot of different stuff, using polls as well, and try to see which one resonates, right? And then basically when you know which topics resonates, then you can lower the number of posts, right? So make sure that you think about these things. Usually it's enough to post 3 times a day if you have a lot of experience in your industry, you know your target audience, and you can easily create content that they will consume. It will give LinkedIn more space to kind of get more reach for specific posts and give you more exposure. But on the other hand, when you post more, basically you get a lower reach per post, but you get more posts, so you're basically at the same level when it comes to the reach and engagement. So that's something to think about. Shout out to my brother Yasmin Alic. Hey man, good to see you. I don't know if you know, but there are a lot of people from Balkans who are great, and LinkedIn, Yasmin being maybe ahead of everybody when it comes to her personal brand and what he does and how he helps others. But also there are people, builders here who are building tools for LinkedIn, like Ivana Todorovic, who is building OutdoorDub. There's also Vedan Rasic and his team that are building Lead Delta, and there are, I don't know how many, but definitely more than 5 companies who are building outreach tools for LinkedIn. So a lot of things going on here. I don't know. I think we here from ex-Yugoslavia, from Balkans, have a thing for LinkedIn. It seems like this is the case. So let me continue. Please ask questions if you have any. So that's the answer when it comes to how to the post frequency and how often should you post on LinkedIn. I like to look and use Gong as an example. I'm using them a lot these days as an example. They post consistently, and their content is a mixture of like industry insights, customer stories, useful tips. They don't spam their audience with like sales messages, but they provide the added value and foster engagement. And that's kind of the key. I think Gong knows very well their audience. I'm going to give you an example now, but just want to tell you they had one of the first newsletters on LinkedIn that actually resonated with their audience and gave them some nice insights. And it's something that actually sparked the engagement. I think Devin Reed was the one in charge at the time, and the one who was leading those things. So that's one thing. Another thing is I don't know how many of you were following Gong at the time. It's the moment when I started following them and when they started gaining momentum. It was during the COVID pandemic when we were all locked down in our apartments. We couldn't move. But if you know salespeople loves to party, loves to celebrate their wins, right? And Gong knows that, of course. So they try to find a way for their salespeople, not but their audience salespeople, to kind of have a party and celebrate. So what did they do? They organized a Zoom party with a DJ. So it was like a virtual room with a DJ spinning around, VJ around him, video effects, and actually playing some really good music. I was there for the Tupac, right? Some people were for some other hits. But on the company page at the same time, what was happening is that, they were asking people about the things that's on a playlist. And salespeople were on the page, on a LinkedIn page, business page, commenting about hip hop music, about house music, about the songs, about those kind of things. And, most of them sharing comments like, I cannot believe this is actually happening. This is amazing. Gong is amazing. So, imagine the effect that had on their target audience. I mean, I don't know if you can. It would be hard for me to imagine as well if I weren't present over there and looking and being one of those to comment, right? So that's important to think about. Now let's move along and talk a little bit about engagement, right? So engagement is what makes LinkedIn different from a typical content platform. You shouldn't be just broadcasting, you're building relationships. And what does it mean? It means you need to act like you are living in 2024. Back in the days, especially, and I don't know, during the times that I grew up in the 90s, we didn't have internet. So we all had a TV, a radio station. When the whole family sits around the TV and watches whatever the TV serves them. We watch all the commercials because you cannot skip them. And things now changed. The audience has all the power. The customers have all the powers. And on LinkedIn is the same. So you need to treat it the same. So they will give you feedback on your product. They will give you feedback on your services. They will give you feedback on your personal brand, on your appearance. Like on this live stream video, you will give me the feedback. So it's all two-way streets. Right. And, some of the companies that were doing that really well are and still are. So Netflix, Airbnb, inherited that from B2C, and now other companies are also starting to get on that train. And LinkedIn did one smart thing to differentiate it from other social media and from what it was before, and it was like just a virtual CV. They focused on engagement and on the networking. Because if you go to Google, let me just do that and type in a LinkedIn mission statement, you will see the mission of LinkedIn is simple: connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful, right? Connect the world's professional to make them more productive and successful. You have connections, so relationship, engagement, and to make them more productive and successful, education. And how you're actually not selling. That's so important to know in B2B. You are not selling, you are actually helping your customers solve specific problems. So never forget that, and always have that in mind. You're not selling, you are helping your customers solve specific problems. But how do we actually get people to engage with our posts? Right? One of the simplest thing is ask open-ended questions in the posts, right? Because I'm sometimes lazy, I don't engage. So, but I like to engage with people on my posts. So I usually ask open-ended questions so I continue the conversation. Like instead of I'm just sharing my thoughts, I ask the audience, what do you think? When people feel like their opinion matters, they are more likely to jump into the conversation. So also I do that when I'm commenting on other people's posts. I always like to share insights, get deeper, show my experience, show some examples. But to end with an open-ended question that will continue the conversation, because LinkedIn especially emphasizes those small discussions inside the comments, right? When you continue, replying to each other in the comments. And so that's something that's extremely, extremely important. I also like to do when I comment to somebody else's post if that doesn't make sense, right? And I'm respecting that person, or I don't want to kind of say something bad. I go out and I want to give the feedback. So I tell him, look, I appreciate you explaining this, but for spending 10 years in the industry, what you wrote here doesn't make any sense, and it's totally not true. Can you convince me that you are actually right? What am I missing here? I'm opening the conversation, and at the same time, I'm telling him that, he's wrong, that my experience tells me something different. But I'm giving him a chance to kind of explain and to give me more information, about all these things that he wrote. So that's one way to do it. But let's move on. So let me see an example. Like what's the biggest challenge in B2B marketing today? So ask people and tell them, let's discuss inside the comments. The simple tactic that can dramatically increase the engagement. Ask them something that is really bothering them. Maybe not this like general thing, but you get me. You understand what I'm saying. So if you are seeing this kind of code here, it's for you to schedule a free 30 minutes consultation with me if you need help with LinkedIn. That's all. I can help for free. I can help you get somewhere. If you want to go further and extend and you need me to guide you to kind of establish your goals, create your LinkedIn strategy, whatever it is, or place LinkedIn inside the full marketing strategy, this is what I'm here for, to help you out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Here to answer. If not, I'm gonna continue to talk about LinkedIn. So we got the engagement, for example, on our post. So usually what's here the issue, I'm going back to this because I think I need to talk more about it. The thing is that if you don't engage with the others, your post will have a lower reach, and that's important to say, right? Try it, do it, add comments as I told you, and you will see how things change. Because on LinkedIn, even the comment is like a post, right? So you are still posting something, and somebody comes to your profile, they can see posts, and then they can see comments, they can see events, they can see other things, but they can see everything, every way that you engaged with people. So always remember that and use that as your superpower, right? I have a friend who and his example often reminds me the importance of engagement on the comments. He was in a, how do we say, in a bad time in life privately, but he wanted to engage and to give back to the people. So he was engaging in the comments and giving value. He didn't post on his own posts, and he was doing that for like 6 months. In 6 months, he started the company called Balkan Tech, which basically is a community of tech founders in the Balkans. Brilliant, right? A pure example how we can use LinkedIn as a very powerful tool to help us achieve our results. So, okay, now let's say that we nailed the engagement. So what's the next step? How do we move from engagement to action? And this is exactly the point where LinkedIn becomes the powerful conversion tool. Every like, every comment, or every profile visit is actually a signal that somebody is interested in what you are saying. The key is to act to those signals. What is actually happening? Most of us aren't reacting to any of those. So to give you an example, if someone likes my post, for example, I talk about specific topic and they like my post and they maybe liked a previous post about the same topic. So I see that and I send them a quick DM thanking them for engaging. And I don't go into with a sales pitch, right? I often like to start a genuine conversation and make sure that it's really genuine. People can smell that, especially in September 2024. People can even smell something which is not sales to think that it's sales. So try to get as far away from the sales pitch as possible. I don't know, for example, hey, I noticed you like my post about AI in marketing. What's your experience with AI? Have you used any specific tools? Or are you adding AI to your product that you're developing, or specific things, right? Open the door for them to share their needs. Just like you are going on a sales call, first sales call, you're not there to sell, you're there to listen and then craft the offer based on that. So this is exactly what is happening here. The same thing. For example, like what I usually do, I use like a post, let's say a poll, talking about, I don't know, 3 ways how I help companies, B2B companies. So I help them with a strategy, with execution, with content creation. For example, like those can be 3, or influencer marketing. I don't know. So whatever, and I tell them which is the biggest struggle for you, for your business. So they answer different things. Based on their answers, I can approach all of them. I have content on my website, on my podcast, on my blog. I have posts on LinkedIn talking about those specific topics and how do I solve them. So I can share those things with them. So I'm not selling, I'm educating them. And if I DM them and say, hey, I saw you voted for this on my poll, there's no getting out of it, right? They voted. I can see it. They know that I can see it. So, if I'm not trying to pitch sales them, they will click and consume anything that I send them if it's educational and it can help them. And they are interested about the topic because that's the burning problem. And I just ask them about it. So, directing them to your video, to your podcast episode, to your LinkedIn post, they will get more familiar with who you are, what do you do, what's the thing. So from that post, they will go to your profile. They will then check out all the things. Like your profile should be the landing page when people will do specific actions that you want them to do when they visit your profile. So think about all these things. But let's move on. So one of the things, I forgot to tell you, that you can also do with that is knowing that everybody is reading your posts, especially if you have a buzz on LinkedIn and you know what you are doing, right? So everybody is reading your post, including the current clients. You can use that even to increase the lifetime deals with existing clients. Not one time, but a lot of times it's happened to me that I'm working with a client and we do specific thing and I'm sharing that in a LinkedIn post. So other client reads that, reaches out to me, and says, hey, can we maybe implement that for us? Or they like the post and I send them a message, hey, did you saw that? Did you see that? This is what I did for this company. Maybe we can do that as well for you, like those kind of things are extremely powerful and important. So let's talk about reaching out to people who are already engaging with our content. And this is where LinkedIn gets really powerful. So if somebody likes or comments on your post, they're giving you the reason to actually start the conversation. And a lot of people are really hesitant to reach out. Well, because the way those spammers have used LinkedIn makes everybody, want to avoid being pushy. But here's the thing: if somebody is engaging with your content, they are interested. You can admit it or not, but it's here. That's the fact. They are interested. They are liking. They are commenting. They are interested. All you need to do is to show that you are open for a conversation. So message people who like or comment on your posts with something like, hey, I saw you like my post about, for example, like demand creation. What's your experience with demand creation? Do you actually agree that it exists? Or how do you do it? Which channels are you using? How are you measuring demand creation? It's not a sales pitch. It's like a genuine question. And from there, you can see if there's a fit for a maybe deeper conversation. Also, I had people who simply liked the post about LinkedIn strategy, and after the quick message, it turned into a consulting conversation. So it's like showing them that you realize that they are showing interest in their thoughts first, and then it moves to the next stage. So what are some of those buying signals that you should look for? So likes, comments, profile visits, they're more than just engagement metrics. They're basically indicators that somebody might be ready to buy. If somebody visits your profile a few times a month or a few times a week, even better, or consistently comments on your post, that's a strong signal that they're interested in what you are offering. In any way, they don't necessarily need to become your customer, but they can take you to your ideal customers. So always have that in mind. Don't wait for them to make the first move. Reach out and start a conversation. I usually, what I'm doing, if somebody visiting my profile and it goes along with my ICP, ideal customer profile, and people who I want to connect with and create relationships with, I send them a personal message, something like, hey, I noticed you check out my profile. What's on your mind? How can I help? And usually people are surprised. They're actually surprised that I can see that, right? A lot of people forget that I can see that somebody is visiting my profile. How do you see that? Basically, if you visit somebody's profile and they stay for like more than 20 seconds, you can register that as a visit on their profiles. So have that in mind as well. So a lot of things happen like that. Let me give you an example, a specific example that happened recently, and it's a huge company. So I saw a person from Wix Enterprises comes into my profile. So she's a CMO. Okay. Then I see the person who is head of influencer marketing or something like that, visiting my profile, and I'm sending messages to both of them. First to one of them, mentioning the other one, and then to the other one. I know that they are talking, and they say, yay, Nemanja, yes, we were checking out your profile. We just wanted to reach out to you next week and to offer you something, and so we got to that faster. And I got to know what they were looking for at my profile, right? So sometimes somebody just visiting my profile to use it as an example of how they can optimize their profile as well. So that's also happening. And that's not bad. That's just perfectly fine if people are looking up to you and how you are doing things. So that's kind of a very good example to talk about. So what I wanted to tell you today is not how you can differentiate by, I don't know, having different visuals, having different things, talking about a certain way, using storytelling, using other things. I wanted to go with you through how can you convert people? Because like, as you are engaging in the feed, it's more important to engage inside your inbox. And a lot of people forget that fact, that you need to engage with your people inside your inbox as well. If you're exchanging messages with somebody, for example, Yasmin just sent me a message, I will respond to him, and as we chat, we will see more of each other's posts in the feed. That's just how it goes. So you need to be aware of that, because LinkedIn wants to help you actually close more deals, connect with people that he sees that you have an interaction with. It means that he thinks that those are the right people for you, so he will try to share with you more posts from their side. So try to use that. Also, one of the things that as we are talking about LinkedIn, you should not overlook are these kind of events. It can be a video live stream, it can be an audio event, but it's a great way to do at least once a week and connect with your people, with your followers, with your community, with all this stuff. So that's one of the features that I want you to try using. Audio is perfect. You don't need video. You don't need to set up the perfect setup. You don't need anything. Basically, you can go and do it. People just need to click a link and they listen. If they, are not the speakers, they don't ever need to get to actually talk. So that's perfect. Also, things like this, remember, people can see you, people can hear you talk about specific things. They can hear if you know what you are talking about. They can hear if you are insecure. They can hear the accent. They can hear a lot of stuff. So all depends what you want to share with them. Sometimes you can do a webinar. Sometimes you can share a presentation. Sometimes you can have a guest. Sometimes you can have multiple guests and a panel. All depends how you like to do things and what's more comfortable for you and what your audience likes. I told you at the moment, like from the beginning, test things. Also, one of the things that it's very good if you already have a content on your website, and a lot of companies have blogs on their website that are written just for the SEO. What I would like to do and what I always do, I use those kind of posts to create blog posts, so the articles, to kind of create posts for LinkedIn. I craft them, optimize them a little bit for LinkedIn, and then try to tag a few people who are experts on a topic to give me the feedback. So with that, I can actually extend the topic on a blog and connect with all those people. Then I'm embedding their profiles and everything inside it, so they are sharing the blog, I'm getting the traffic. But you can also do that with LinkedIn newsletter, which works as a common newsletter. You publish it, then when you publish it, it works as an article because you can find it in the Google search. But also Google sends notification to all of your followers if they want to subscribe to the newsletter. And when they do, it works as a connection request. You see it as a notification. And when they do, what you usually do, when you publish a new newsletter edition, they get notification on LinkedIn that it's published, but they also get an email in whichever email provider they are using. They get the email saying that, for example, Nemanja has a new newsletter article. So they go and read it. And inside that, you can embed LinkedIn posts, you can embed LinkedIn YouTube posts, you can embed TikTok shorts, you can embed, mention a lot of other people. And basically it can be your pillar content. Not only these kind of videos, which are long form, but also you can use the newsletter as a long form video text post. Also, you can maybe just use it as you're consuming the content to kind of summarize what did you consume last week, right? It can also be as simple as that. So yeah, these are all things that I wanted to talk with you about. As you can see, I can talk about a lot of stuff. If if you have any questions, I'm ready to open them. And I really like to go deep. There aren't many things on LinkedIn that I didn't try. I use my profile to try things out. That's why I'm not like in 50,000 followers. I'm like in, I don't know, 26, 27. Because I use my profile to test things out. I remove followers which are not a fit. I try different types of content, and I have a lot of things to share. So I share multiple times a day. So I mess up the algorithm and all the other stuff. But that's why I know things. For example, if we didn't stream on LinkedIn pages and organize an online conference, I wouldn't know to tell you that LinkedIn live stream can last for 3 hours. Then it stops. And you need to start again. But you don't know that if you don't try it. Right? And I see a lot of people talk about LinkedIn acting as an expert, but they didn't try things. They didn't get results from it. And I think I'm good at LinkedIn basically because I see it as just one of the channels. And that's how we should look at it. It's just one of the channels inside the strategy. An important channel, maybe the most important one, but it's just one of the channels. It's not everything for your business, right? There are a lot of businesses who are not on LinkedIn, but we are talking now LinkedIn, so I'm not going to go there. So think about all these things. Maybe we'll talk about employer branding in one of the next episodes and go deeper into some other things. But this is what I wanted to talk with you about. So if you need help with LinkedIn, scan this code, schedule a free consultation call, and let's see if I can help you with some of the things. Usually what we do with companies, I was just creating the offer before I was recording this. So we work with companies to have workshops for the whole company, 1 day workshops. We work with executive team and the board to have workshops, especially for them, because they need to lead the team and they need to behave differently and to learn things differently and to look at the things from different perspective than other employees from the company, right? So we work also in this sort of accelerator for the company the last 3 months, when we have, like, I don't know, it was from 10 people to even like 47. I think it was the largest number of people inside the accelerator with, sometimes it's just marketing team, sometimes marketing, sales. We had even engineers in the team, and we work with all of them to kind of use LinkedIn. So when all they merge together, they create the company brand, but they also have the personal benefit to it. So we work one-on-one also with companies. And what we do is something that we established recently is we usually have a feedback as a service, and basically we give feedback to what the employees from the company are already doing. That's kind of interesting because, like copy, I will give you the feedback. I will tell you when something's good, when something's not. Optimize profiles, I will give you the feedback. And strategy as well, and all the things that goes on and on and on and on. Because, like, having a leader, having somebody to actually help people, I like to compare that to a granny moving across the streets that she needs help, and somebody jumps in, takes her hand, and helps her get to the other side of the street. This is what you need to be for your employees if you want to leverage LinkedIn as a channel for your company. So yeah, this is basically what I wanted to talk with you about. As you can see, I can go indefinitely in the future talking about these things, but let's save something for the next episode. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I stream once a week. Maybe we will go to twice a week in the future, but next week the guest is coming. We have some amazing guests coming in the next week. So make sure to subscribe to the Funky Marketing Podcast on any platform that you are using. So YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Give us the review on Apple Podcast if you consider this as useful. Share with others, of course, and keep it funky, as I always say. But before I go back. Now stop, go back to the beginning of the episode, listen to everything again, write down things that you need to remember, maybe share it on LinkedIn or on some other social media platforms, tag me, tag Funky Marketing, and let me know, was this useful or not? So yeah, now it's really the time to go. Keep it funky, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.